Good morning, guys. This is Forte. Let's look over some charts, okay? The first one I have is XPEV. Chinese stock, very dangerous, but the chart looks really good, which means, don't go too hard on this one. Don't have too big of a position, or simply just day trade it. I think if this thing can get above $50, we can actually get a move higher. We can see that every time the stock has touched $50, we see some pretty interesting movements, right? It either goes up, failed, or, basically volatility will kick in when it hits about 55 level. So we're about to hit that level again, and I'm hoping to see something happening with this one. Another stock I want to look at is DWAC. It's a digital world. I don't know what kind of stock it is. Probably has something to do with metaverse. But that's the theme that the stock's having. That's the market is liking basically. Stuff that has something to do with the metaverse. And personally, I think it's pretty much all just a fluke. But if stock wants to go up, I would love to be a part of it, right? So this thing, if we actually break above this entire level right here, we could very likely see this thing head upwards to maybe up to the 170, 160 level again, maybe even all-time high into 200. But yeah, so keep an eye on this one. We are not anywhere close to 75 yet. We are at $70, but I think a entry above Friday's high perhaps can bring us to $75, because I think a lot of the individual retail traders are hoping to see this thing break above 75, and they're hoping to buy this thing above 75. So how I read this would be people will be waiting for the price to break 75 and then they buy it. But because of that kind of mentality, it makes it easier for the stock to move to 75 level. But after it breaks 75, nobody knows what happens. This thing could just break up and fell like that. You never know. But I think the likelihood of this thing going up to 75 is very high. So that's where I will get involved right here. So basically ahead of people. And another trade I want to talk about is BWA, right? BWA, it might look like it got going a little bit, which is why I also didn't buy on this day where it got going. Number one, the stock got going and we're basically holding above this price. We're not holding above, we're like right at this price or breaking out, which means that we are done basically getting rid of the supply around this area. Now, once we break this area, if we don't see any further sellings, right? Once we break this high right here, if we don't see any further sellings, we perhaps can get a revisit to all-time high. I guess not all-time high since this thing is all-time high is like around 65, but the recent high is what I meant. If we could break that, perhaps we maybe have a chance to go even higher, right? And we're also getting closer to $50 level, and market loves these even numbers. So do pay attention to this thing, and especially when it gets around $50. And one more, it's AMKR, right? AMKR AMKR technology. It's a semiconductor stock, and semiconductors has been they've been doing all right. They're probably one of the only few indexes that's still holding up. I mean, other than the energy stock, and the financials are doing pretty well as well. But if you look at the SPY and the Nasdaq is kind of on the downtrend. We're still above the 200-day moving average, but below the 20 and 50-day moving average. So the Nasdaq is looking kind of shaky. But throughout this entire year, the semiconductor has been leading the Nasdaq, and we close above the 20 and 50-day moving average, and we're still on the uptrend. If you take a look at a weekly chart, right? We're still on an easy uptrend. There's no doubt about it. I don't care what anybody says. We're on an uptrend. So semiconductor is where we should be attacking. AMKR is one of them that I think looks pretty well because it has a good weekly chart, right? Weekly chart, we've been being in this area, and then we're looking ready to break above again. Last week we tried to break above it and it failed, and we had a little pullback, which makes sense, to the 50-day moving average. And immediately we found buyers up around this area, and on Friday we also had a quick shakeout to the 50-day moving average, 50, 20, and 200-day moving average. And once again, we found buyers. So I think buyers are emerging really tightly. And, it got a little bit extended, to be honest. So prefer a little pullback on the Tuesday. And then hopefully to buy this thing above, when it gains strength. But yeah, other than that, that's it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.